If you've been following this series, you already know the framework. $1,400 in America, it's pressure. $1,400 in the Philippines, that's stability. $1,400 in Vietnam, well, that's leverage. But Thailand's the first place we've talked about where the math works. And you still might not be allowed to stay. And if you're planning your future on this number, this matters more than anything else. And I think that's worth an honest conversation. So let me start with the cost, because on paper, Thailand, it makes sense on $1,400 a month. Outside Bangkok and places like Chiang Mai and Hue Hin, or the quieter parts of the country. Here's what your money actually buys. Rent for a modern furnished apartment with air conditioning, reliable internet. Look, we're talking maybe $300 to $600 a month. Your utilities, $75 to $150. Food, and this is genuinely one of Thailand's strongest arguments. Street food, night markets, local restaurants that cost almost nothing and taste like something you'd pay $40 back home. Now, eating well, eating even great, $100 to $300 a month. Transportation, hey, $40 to $80 per month. Personal spending and lifestyle, add in another $150. And you're landing somewhere between $900 and $1,400 a month. On a $1,400 a month Social Security check, that gives you room. The lifestyle, it's very affordable, which makes what I'm about to tell you even more frustrating. Thailand has a retirement visa. And when you first hear about it, it sounds exactly like what you need. Until you look at the requirements. To qualify for a long-term stay in Thailand, you currently need to show roughly $1,800 a month in a verifiable income, or maintain a Thai bank deposit of 20,000 US dollars or more. That's the threshold, and if your number is 1,400, you're just sitting just below it. Now compare that to the Philippines, where the retirement visa is more accessible at a lower income levels, or Cambodia, which we're going to be covering next, where the retirement extension for 55 and older requires almost no income proof at all. Thailand wants you to qualify first. And I get that's why it's so frustrating to hear, because you're not asking for luxury and you're not asking for a free ride. You did the work. You paid in the system, and that $1,400 a month is what came back. That's not irresponsibility. That is a generation that caught between a system that changed and a savings culture that never really was fully within reach for most of us. Now, I know that story personally, and that's why I'm building this channel. So, does Thailand come off the list? Actually, not automatically, because the gap between where you are and where Thailand needs you to be, it's a $400 barrier. That's it. And I talked about this in the first video. Even a modest remote income, a few $100s a month, just from consulting, remote services, using your existing experience in ways that you even haven't thought about yet. That honestly is going to close the gap. It's not a second career, and it's not a full-time commitment. It's a small, consistent bridge between where you are and where you want to be. You know, cross that $1,800 threshold and Thailand opens up. That's not an inspiration. That's just math. Now let's talk about the healthcare there, because honestly, this is where Thailand genuinely separates itself from everyone else in this series. And it's also where I want to spend most of my time today, because this is the conversation I honestly see avoided everywhere in this space. Look, Thailand has some of the best private hospitals in all of Southeast Asia. You know, they have them in Bangkok with Bangkok Hospital, with locations spread across the country. And these are not small clinics. These are internationally accredited facilities, English-speaking doctors and staff, modern equipment, organized, clean, and predictable. Now, for serious medical conditions, cardiac care, orthopedics, cancer treatment, Thailand is legitimately competitive with what you'll find in the United States, sometimes better, and at a fraction of the cost. And for someone on a fixed income in a country where a major medical event could wipe out everything you have, let alone your life, that matters enormously. But here's where I have to be straight with you, because this is the part nobody wants to say out loud. International health insurance. It's not simple. And it's not cheap as you age. At 55, hey, a solid international policy might run $150 to $250 a month. At 62, now you're looking more at $300 to $500 or more, depending on your health history. And here's the piece that can completely derail anyone's plan if you don't face it early. Pre-existing conditions, high blood pressure, diabetes, a prior cardiac event, a history of cancer, a surgery that's on your medical record. Most international insurers will either exclude that condition entirely or add a significant premium surcharge, or in some cases just decline you altogether. And I want to be clear about this, because I'm not telling you this to scare you or make you not want to keep going with this. I'm telling you this because I'm going through the exact process myself. I'm looking at these same questions that you're looking at. What does coverage actually cost for my age? What's going to get excluded because of my history, and what gaps I haven't even thought of yet? And I kept realizing the answers aren't going to be here on YouTube, and they're not in some blog post. They require someone who actually understands the policies, the carriers, the fine print, and how it applies to your specific situation. That's why I'm actually going through a licensing process right now to become actually a licensed international healthcare broker. And not to build some faceless agency, but because the people that are watching this channel, people in the same situation that I'm in, look, we deserve someone who can sit down with them and actually look at the specific picture. Your age, your health history, your budget, the country they're considering, and give them real answers and not AI-generated general ones. Now, I'm not there yet. I'm working on the process. But I want you to know that's where this is all headed, because this stuff matters too much to leave people figuring it out all by yourself. So, let me give you a full, honest picture about Thailand. The visa income threshold, that's a real wall for anyone at $1,400. The cost of living, while is genuinely manageable, runs higher than Vietnam or Cambodia. The healthcare, it's world class, but it needs to be budgeted for properly, not assumed. It costs a little bit more. Distance, it's real between you and your home country, and it's going to cost you a bit to fly back and forth. It's not impossible, but it's not a short drive either. The heat and humidity are year-round. If you need seasons, if that rhythm matters to you psychologically, Thailand's going to wear on you eventually. Knowing that going in, here's where I want to leave you. Thailand, honestly, it's the most polished version of this life. Better infrastructure than almost anywhere else that I'm going to talk about. Healthcare that can handle whatever comes your way. A large and established expat community that has already figured out most of what you haven't even thought of yet. But it asks more of you up front. More income, more planning, more preparation. It's not the easiest entry point, but you know what? For a person who builds that small bridge, who's closing the gap, who goes in with a real plan instead of just winging it, Thailand, it's not a compromise. It's an upgrade. The question isn't whether you can afford this lifestyle. The math already shows that you can. The question is whether you're willing to do the small work that gets you across that threshold. And I think most of the people that are watching this channel are exactly that kind of person. Now, the next video, I'm going to be talking about Cambodia. And Cambodia is the one that's going to surprise most people because it's possibly the most accessible retirement visa for anyone 55 and older in all of Southeast Asia. Lower costs than Thailand, simpler entry than Vietnam, and the quality of life that most people are completely underestimating. Now, the numbers, they're going to change. How you think about what's possible. Look, that's all I have for you today. So I want you guys, take care, and I'll see you in the next one.